What if I told you that the quiet, humble boy everyone mocked in Lagos is the same boy who brought an entire wicked empire to its knees? Wait, don't scroll. Because after you hear what this boy did to his heartless, wicked boss, you will question everything you thought you knew about patience, loyalty, and revenge. Before we start this unbelievable folktale, tell me, where are you watching from? And if you love deep Nigerian stories that touch the soul, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss the next episode. Now, sit tight. This is the story of You Wouldn't Believe What He Did to His Wicked Boss. A Lagos folktale you will never forget. In the bustling city of Lagos, where everybody is chasing money and survival is a full-time job, lived a 22-year-old young man called Emeka Okori. Tall, skinny, always wearing the same brown trousers and his old rubber slippers. Emeka looked like someone Lagos had swallowed and spat back out. But inside him burned something dangerous, something powerful, something nobody saw coming. Emeka lived with his widowed mother, Mama Chika, in a one-room apartment in Ajagunle. Their roof leaked when rain fell. Their stove coughed smoke like it was tired of life, but they survived. Every morning at 4:30 a.m., Emeka woke up, prayed quietly, and entered the chaotic Lagos traffic to go and work at the company of the man people feared more than Lastma and Nepa combined, Chief Femi Balogun. A man so wicked he could shout at thunder and frighten lightning. Chief Femi was rich, extremely rich, but his heart was poorer than a broken beggar's bowl. He treated his workers like dust. Nobody lasted in his company, but Emeka stayed. Why? Because he needed the job to take care of his mother. But Chief Femi hated him for one reason. Emeka was too good, too honest, too hardworking, and wicked people fear those they cannot control. From the first day Emeka entered that company, Chief Femi marked him, called him names, embarrassed him in front of customers, sent him on errands meant for 3 people, paid him half salary, made him work weekends without rest. Yet Emeka never complained. But Lagos was watching, and destiny was taking notes. Because as the elders say, a pot of wickedness must one day boil over, and Chief Femi's own was about to explode, right on his head. But let me ask you, if you were Emeka, working under a wicked boss who humiliates you daily, what would you do? Let me know in the comments. Before we continue, quickly tell me where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you love deep Nigerian stories. Now listen. Chief Femi Balogun was not just wicked. He was a legend of wickedness. His company, Balogun Metals, was famous across Lagos, not for quality, not for good service, but for how terribly he treated his workers. If you came late by 1 minute, he would deduct half your salary. If you spoke without permission, you would kneel outside like a school child. If you dared to question him, you would go home jobless. People in Lagos whispered that Chief Femi carried something darker than a bad attitude. Some said he made sacrifices. Some said he consulted strange herbalists. Some even claimed he had a secret room in his office where no one was allowed to enter. But no matter how cruel he was, Emeka always remained calm. Even when Chief Femi insulted his mother, even when he tore his salary book in his face, even when he made him work under scorching sun for hours, Emeka swallowed the pain. But what nobody knew was that this quiet boy had a destiny that would shake Lagos. And part of that destiny was tied to the very wicked man who tormented him. One hot Friday afternoon, customers were everywhere. Workers were running up and down. Chief Femi was in one of his terrible moods, his face squeezed like someone who swallowed bitter leaf raw. He called Emeka. "You! Come here!" Emeka rushed over. Chief Femi raised his voice so loud, even people inside Keiki stopped to look. "Look at your stupid face. I sent you to deliver goods to Victoria Island. Why did you come back late? Sir, the traffic. Will you shut up your dirty mouth? People froze. A grown man, almost 60, shouting at a boy who could be his son. Then it got worse. Chief Femi picked up a file and slammed it hard on Emeka's chest. Carry this and kneel down outside under the sun. I will teach you that poverty is not an excuse for stupidity. A murmur filled the compound. Even Lagos Breeze paused. It was too much, too wicked, too humiliating. But Emeka kneeled down, silent, eyes burning, heartbreaking. That day when he returned home, his mother found him staring into space. Emeka, my son, she said softly. What did they do to you again? He took a deep breath. Mama, one day, God will disgrace that man with his own hands. His mother touched his shoulder. My son, leave everything to God. Ah, if only Mama knew that the disgrace coming for Chief Femi would shake their entire community. The following week, something happened that changed everything. It was raining heavily, the type of Lagos rain that floods streets and carries slippers away. Emeka was closing from work when he saw a car skidding dangerously on the slippery road. Before he could shout, "Blood of Jesus," the car slammed into a street pole and overturned. People ran. Some just stood and watched. But Emeka? He didn't think twice. He jumped into the water-filled gutter, forced the car door open, and pulled out the injured man inside. When he saw the man's face, his heart dropped. It was Chief Femi. Blood on his head, barely breathing, drenched and shivering. Emeka could have walked away. Left him there. Pretended he didn't see anything. After all, this was the man who made his life miserable, but Emeka carried him on his back, ran through the rain, and flagged down a taxi. He rushed him to the hospital, sat with him, paid for his emergency treatment with the little money he had saved. For hours he stayed by his bedside, because even though Chief Femi was wicked, Emeka was not. When Chief Femi woke up the next morning, the first person he saw was Emeka, covered in dried mud, eyes red from lack of sleep. You, Chief Femi whispered. What are you doing here? You had an accident, sir, Emeka said. I brought you here. Chief Femi blinked, confused, ashamed, afraid. This was the first time in his life anyone had shown him kindness without expecting anything in return. But instead of thanking Emeka, he frowned and said, So, nobody else was around? Emeka sighed. No, sir, only me. Chief Femi looked away, embarrassed. Not by the accident, but by the fact that the boy he humiliated the most ended up saving his life. But this was just the beginning. When Chief Femi returned to work after 2 weeks, something had changed. He no longer shouted much. He no longer insulted loudly. But he was still harsh and suspiciously quiet. Until one evening he called Emeka to his office. Lock the door. Emeka froze. Chief Femi opened a drawer and brought out a key, an old rusted key wrapped in red cloth. Follow me. They walked to the back of the building, to a small iron door workers always whispered about. The secret room. He unlocked it. The moment the door opened, a cold breeze brushed Emeka's face. Something spiritual, something heavy. Inside the room were strange objects, cowries, candles, old wooden carvings, blackened pots, and a calabash filled with something Emeka didn't want to imagine. Emeka stepped back. Sir, what is this? Chief Femi's voice trembled. This is the reason I am rich, and the reason I am cursed. Chief Femi told him a story so shocking it froze Emeka's bones. Years ago, when the company was collapsing, Chief Femi visited a powerful herbalist in Badagry. The man promised him wealth, but at a price. Your riches will rise on the tears of the innocent. From that day, everything changed. Every time he punished workers unjustly. every time he made people cry. His wealth increased. The wickedness wasn't just a habit. It was part of a spiritual covenant he couldn't break. But after his accident, the herbalist appeared in his dream and said, "The tears that lifted you will soon drown you." The only way to break the curse was to find a pure heart, someone he had wronged deeply, and let that person decide his fate. He looked at Emeka. His eyes were shaking. "You are that person." Chief Femi knelt before Emeka, a 58-year-old billionaire, on his knees before a poor boy he used to humiliate. "I destroyed your dignity, your pride, your joy," he said, voice trembling. "But God used you to save my life. You must choose now. Will you forgive me? Or will you let the curse destroy me completely?" The room fell silent. Even the air held its breath. Emeka's heart pounded. This was the moment Lagos stories are made of. The moment where destinies shift. If he refused, Chief Femi's empire would crumble within 7 days. If he forgave, the curse would break. But which should he choose? Let me ask you, what would you choose? Forgiveness or revenge? Tell me in the comments. But listen, Emeka's decision shocked even the spirits watching. Emeka stepped forward. He placed his hand on Chief Femi's shoulder, and in a calm voice he said, "Sir, I forgive you." Chief Femi broke down. For the first time in his life, he cried like a child. His tears dropped onto the ground, and the lights in the room flickered. A cold wind swept through the building. The candles went out. Then a deep, heavy silence. The curse was broken. From that day forward, everything changed. Chief Femi called a meeting with all workers. Everybody gathered, prepared for another round of insults. But instead, he shocked them. "I want to apologize," he began. People gasped. Some looked at the ceiling fan to be sure it was still Lagos. Chief Femi publicly kneeled before Emeka. "Without this boy, I would be dead today. And without his forgiveness, I would lose everything. From today, Emeka is no longer an ordinary worker. He is my new general manager." People screamed. Workers clapped. Some couldn't believe it. Emeka? The boy they mocked. The boy they insulted for being too loyal? He was now the second in command of the entire company. Over the next few months, salaries increased. Working conditions improved. Workers were treated like humans. Customers returned. The company grew bigger than ever. And guess who was behind it? Emeka. His wisdom shocked everyone. Even clients preferred him to Chief Femi. Lagos newspapers wrote about him. Radio stations mentioned him. People said, "This boy is blessed. Who trained him like this?" Now humility they lift personnel, but destiny was not done with him yet. One Saturday morning, Mama Chica visited the company for the first time. When Chief Femi saw her, he froze. "Madam, I know you." She frowned. "Know me? From where?" Chief Femi swallowed hard. 26 years ago, he had gone to a hospital where a young, struggling nurse helped him during a medical emergency. That nurse was Mama Chica, and on that very day, the herbalist told him, "The person who saved your life today will have a child that will one day rise above you." He thought it was a threat. He didn't know it was destiny. "The child is your son, Emeka," Chief Femi whispered. Mama Chica covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. Everything suddenly made sense. To repay everything Emeka had done, Chief Femi made an announcement. "I have no son, no heir. I want Emeka to inherit 40% of my company and my house in Lekki." The whole building erupted in shock. Emeka almost fainted. Mama Chica started crying. Nobody, absolutely nobody, expected such a turnaround. That is life. When destiny decides to lift a humble person, even the wicked become the ladder. But the story didn't end there. When the herbalist heard the curse had been broken, he became furious. one night, he tried to visit Chief Femi spiritually, but something blocked him. Something powerful. The forgiveness, the purity, the broken covenant. The herbalist screamed in pain as fire consumed his shrine. By morning, he had vanished from Lagos. Nobody ever saw him again. Sometimes the strongest protection is a clean heart. A year later, Emeka became the official CEO. Chief Femi retired and travelled abroad for medical care. The company flourished, workers were happy, and the story spread across Lagos. Be careful how you treat people. The person you oppress today might be the one God will use to save you tomorrow. So my friend watching this, before you go, let me ask you, what did you learn from this story? Drop your lesson below. And if this story touched you, hit that subscribe button and tell me where you're watching from so I can greet you personally in the next story. This is your storyteller, signing out. Until next time, God bless you.